Oh, damn it!
What happened?
I fell over something.
Where are you?
How the hell do I know? It's like the black hole of Calcutta.
Shall I send a Saint Bernard?
I think I'm in a dressing room.
Oh, there's a light over this way.
I'll follow the gleam.
I found it!
Found what?
The gleam. I'm in a living room. It's straight out of Dracula.
As long as there's electricity.
Oh, and there's the most marvelous little Chippendale chair. It's just what we need. You know, the space in the hall next
Darling,
to
I find it rather disconcerting you're more interested in Chippendale than your lost husband.
Stay where you are, darling. I'll flick on the lights.
Well, that shows a level head.
Nothing happened.
Just try talking, I'll find you.
What shall I say?
Oh, ow!
Oh, you're getting closer.
Keep talking, count.
Oh, dear. B3 to the N27 under the O64, which leads...
Bingo!
Darling, you made it! Oh, after all this time, you found me! Oh my, but you've aged. Yes, silver threads and all that.
Don't give me any of your outdated dialogue, just an apology.
For what?
For not listening to my advice and waiting until the others got here.
But it puts us a giant step ahead of everyone else to see the room first. Now, you sit over there and I'll find the lights.
I thought you said they didn't work.
There's always a master switch, one of those big, enormous levers.
No, I wouldn't venture out there if I were you.
I'm perfectly all right. The light board is always near the stage somewhere. Ow!
Now we're even.
I hope you've kept up my Blue Cross.
Medicare takes you over in October.
Ha ha.
My God, this is a dreary place.
It's supposed to be. Shh, here we are.
Find it?
There are banks of little switches. Ready?
Go ahead.
How's that?
Marvelous! If I were Laurence Olivier, I'd never forgive you. Try again.
This is number 5.
It's green! You made me look like Lon Chaney.
Oh, here it is. It's a big lever. Here we go.
Oh. Jessica! This is a dreadful room.
It's an exact reproduction or so, Mrs. Summer says. Oh, you're right. I wouldn't be caught dead here.
Well, many have been.
Oh, that's good, Whitney. Your sense of humor's coming back. Now, what shall we do?
Silly girl, have a martini.
What a whoppingly brilliant idea.
I thought you'd like it.
Here. Sorry, my back is very full. Hold these. One.
2. You know, it does sort of feel like a living room, doesn't it?
Yes, except the furniture's all wrong.
Well, it's depressing, but it's right for the set, I gather.
No, I mean, it's placed wrong. Hasn't that ever bothered you? It's all facing out there.
Oh, it has to. That's where the audience is.
I know that! Oh, God, you are stupid. I mean, if this were a real living room, the furniture would be in clusters.
Well, conversational units, as you call it?
Exactly. Olive?
Naturally. But if the furniture weren't facing audience, they'd never see the actors' faces.
Which would be better in some cases.
Naturalistic theaters, Nicole.
Like that dreary little thing we saw off Broadway.
Parts of it were enjoyable. What shall we drink to?
The Project. Here's to death, murder, mystery, and mayhem.
But with sophistication.
But with sophistication. Cheers.
Oh, now everything is right with the world.
Whitney!
Ah, don't do that!
Oh, I'm sorry, darling. I just had the most chaotic thought. What happens if we don't like the others?
Oh, one can't like everybody.
We signed a contract.
It's good money.
Oh, Whit, you always have exactly the right phrase at the right time.
Well, look, even if we despise the others, it will be good to get back at work again. You know, me at the typewriter, you pacing back and forth, trading ideas.
Bickering is what you mean.
We don't really bicker, darling. Sometimes we just have slight disagreements.
Like that time you wanted to hurl a hatchet into that girl's back?
Are you ever going to forget
Oh,
that?
it was such a bloody idea. Our readers would have closed their books then and there. From us, they expect pleasant murders, a simple poison, a quick shot in the dark, or even a stab in the back if it's genteel with a hat pin. But hatchets? Really?
I was trying to change the pattern.
You don't change a pattern that pays off.
Paid off.
Paid off? But people still read our books.
In the dentist's office when they're finished with the National Geographic.
We have more than enough to be comfortable for the rest of our lives, and I don't regret one moment of it. Besides, I am getting excited about working again.
Well, it's time our style came back into vogue anyway.
We really brought murder to a new high, didn't we?
The highs.
We were like an art gallery. Those other stories were like butcher shops.
Ooh. No, I wish somebody else would come. I feel rather stupid sipping a martini in an empty sound studio.
It will soon be bustling with authors, don't worry. Say, they certainly make these sets realistic, don't they?
Well, that's the point.
It's just canvas. I could swear it was real walls. And those ceilings, I suppose they're for acoustics.
Probably. Hello! See? No echo.
Hello!
My voice is changing!
Over here! Follow the game.
Oh.
Be right with you. Oh, this is a gloomy vault, isn't
Just
it?
wait until you get where we are.
It's a woman.
Mildred Maxwell.
I made it. Oh, those lights are bright, aren't they?
Just wait until you're in the right color. It'll take 10 years off of you.
Oh, nothing could do that short a trip to Lord's. How do you do? I'm Mildred Z. Maxwell.
She's not
We've read everything we've ever written.
Why, thank you, dear. A few million more like you, and I wouldn't have to be here right now. You must be Miss Summers.
Wrong.
I hate to be wrong.
Jessica Olive, and this is my husband Whitney.
I should have known the martini.
Would you like one?
Oh, never drink on the job, dear. Coagulates the mind. And can I just say, I have read everything you've ever written.
Well, now we're even.
But I had no idea you were so much like your books.
In what way?
Well, every one of your murders started out with a charming couple sipping martinis, and then things happened. It was like a trademark.
Well, we happen to enjoy martinis.
So do I, but unfortunately, I never made a career of it.
Unfortunate indeed.
So, where are the others?
No one else has come yet.
Honestly now, what do you really think of this whole thing?
Well, it should be delightful fun as long as we don't all end up fighting.
Every bee to its own bonnet, as I always say.
Oh, I wondered what you always said.
Oh, marvelous! You are just like your books. I wish I were. I try to be, but it never comes off somehow.
Oh, how do you mean?
Of every one of my books, the characters are so thoroughly organized, and the plot so spectacularly logical, but in reality I had trouble balancing my checkbooks. Never think it from my stories, would you?
Certainly not. Those murders are brilliantly plotted. There's something like a geometry problem. Many's the time I've said to Jess, we could use some more of your ingenuity.
And many's the time I've wished for your comic flair for the urbane.
This collaboration is going to be perfect. We're getting along like a house of fire already.
Mutual respect, that's what all authors should have.
Especially mystery authors who are dated.
Nonsense! We're not dated! Your stories are still alive and thrilling as ever.
But we only hinted at sex and avoided violence whenever possible.
But my stories are timeless. The unusual murderer and the interfering detective, and then call everybody in a room together and give them the answer. That's the basis of all murder books.
Not anymore, I'm afraid.
We'll come back, my dears. Just hold on to your typewriters. The pendulum is swinging. Even the sexy CIA agent and all his super weapons are out. I bet Brad Benedict has sold 1,000 copies of his latest.
Definitely not.
I get my royalty statement next month, but I think you may be right.
There I go again, putting my foot up right to the knee.
Oh, it's okay, it's true.
How do you do? I'm with you.
I know who you are. You're the Olives. I've always loved that name. Goes so well with martinis.
Oh, yes.
And Miss Maxwell, a pleasure.
And you're Brad Benedict, the man who brought the transistor radio to the pencil and the camera to the cigarette lighter.
It was good while it lasted.
We were just complimenting each other on our murders. Care to join?
Am I expected to compliment my idols?
Oh, I like that!
Without you stalwarts of the murder mystery, I would have not had my short-lived career. I learned everything from you.
Why, that's a nice stitch, dear. Come, sit and join us.
Oh, and have a martini.
Ooh, my pleasure. Just a handful, please.
Oh, don't underestimate my wife. Just a glass.
I always have a spare for guests.
So, Julie Summers isn't here yet?
Oh no, just the three of us. One thing we've already decided. They might expect it, but we're not going to fight. We're going to collaborate peacefully and make a fortune.
I'm all for that.
Just to clear the air, dear, I must say, there's something about you I hate.
Oh.
It's not the modern style you use. I could see that since you have a dynamic flair. It's your name.
What's wrong with it?
It's the two B's. I hate authors who have alliterative names.
And what about yours?
I predate you, unfortunately.
Ah, but you switched yours around, Mildred. I read it somewhere.
That damn Reader's Digest!
You were born Zelda Mildred and changed it to Mildred Z. Maxwell.
Oh, and besides, Brad Benedict is my real name. Oh, in fact, it's Bradley Bruce Benedict. You ready for that?
I concede.
Here's to you. Ooh. Good, you never get them dry enough these days.
Oh, wit has the secret.
What? I pour the gin in the thermos and then close it up and whisper the word vermouth in the next room.
Ooh. Oh. Say, this is quite the rotten old room, isn't it?
My agent told me it's an exact replica of the one on the island. They're going to shoot the script here.
After we write it.
Oh, I do hope we all work quickly. I hate to belabor murder.
I once wrote one of my best-selling books, The Golden Mummy Case, in 6 days.
Oh, you must have worked non-stop.
No, I was covered in hives and couldn't sleep.
There's no reason why we can't pop this thing out in a few days. I gather they want each of us to have a little of our own thing in it, so it appeals to everyone.
Some producer's smart idea.
We'll show them we're not through yet, my dears.
Show who? I think we're being stood up.
Somebody should come soon. It's just Summers and Ducton left.
Say, whatever happened to Rodney Ducton?
That sounds like a movie title. Whatever happened to Rodney Ducton?
No, really. I thought he'd asked.
Oh, he's not dead. I read the obituary page every morning.
Oh, you too.
What? It's a sign of age.
Oh. Now, he was an author who switched styles, all right? And after all those horror movie things, suddenly in the 30s, he came up with Jack Club.
And made a mint here with all those hard-hitting private eye stories. Probably retired to an island in the Caribbean somewhere.
I hope his house is nicer than this one.
The real this one, you mean?
She's getting cryptic.
One thing I'll say for Ducton's books is he always had a nice shock element in them.
Well, it kept the readers awake.
You never knew when you were gonna come upon a body of
I didn't mean to scare you. Really, I just wanted to make an entrance, so I came round this way. Miss Maxwell, it is indeed a pleasure. I was just rereading your The Case of the Black-Eyed Turtle, and I do admire your structure.
I wish someone admired my structure.
Oh, I do, dear.
Thank you, darling.
You know, Mr. Ducton, after all these years, we finally meet. I'm Whitney Olive, and this is my wife, Jessica.
Tremendous fans of yours, tremendous.
Oh, same.
So you already know Mildred?
Yes, I kept that cover story about her in Times. Of course, it was 20 years
Oh,
ago.
yes.
She's changed somewhat.
And when did you leave Shangri-La?
I detect a note of bitterness which is not apparent in your writings.
Young.
And this is Brad Benedict. How are you, sir? A pity.
What is it?
You are me. Younger, of course. You took what I wrote in the 30s, added a few transistors, and got astoundingly good royalties for a time.
Oh, well, that time was a few years ago.
So we're all going to be working together. I must say I'm looking forward to it. Trading ideas, plots. When do we start?
As soon as Summers gets here, you know, the tide is starting to run low in our martini thermos.
Intriguing room, isn't it?
Dreary, I call it.
What I could have done with this in my horror days. A sliding panel here, groping hand there. A beautiful girl seated at the desk. She hears footsteps coming down the corridor. She turns, screams! But that doesn't scare anymore. A pity.
Your Jack Club would hit the monster with the butt of his gun.
Jack Club, another era. Warner Brothers made a good thing out of him, but who and what are current now?
Nothing. That's why we are here.
What do we do now?
If anyone else says that, I shall call a cab and go home.
Good evening, everyone. I am Julie Summers, the woman who contacted your respected agents. Thank you. I purposely came a little late to let you all get acquainted. Clever idea, wasn't it? Well, actually, the vice president in charge of new shows suggested it. I can't take all the credit, can I? Why not? Oh, they'd find out. Jealousy, you know. Oh, now shall we get started? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to WMT Studios. It is our pleasure to invite you to join us on a short experimental evening in crime. Down through the ages, murder and mayhem have fascinated each and every one of us. So tonight, we have brought together the outstanding mystery writers
Miss
of their
Summers.
time. It is our idea
Miss
to...
Summers,
Excuse me. Yes, Mr. Ducton?
we're all wondering one thing.
What?
Who the hell are you talking to?
To the audience?
What audience?
Out there! Good evening, everyone. Hi.
Good God, she's right. What? There are people out there.
Oh, no, look at
Oh, Miss Summers, what is the meaning of this?
Oh my God, this is a joke.
Didn't your agents tell you there would be an audience?
No, certainly not. Or I would have worn black tie.
Perhaps it's an oversight on my part. However, there is no harm done, is there? This is just an experiment, more of a game, really.
Oh, murder is hardly a game. We've all made careers out of it.
Oh, please sit down and let me explain this. Come on.
I'm no good in front of people. Audiences make me nervous. I don't know.
I think we should all go home.
No, let's hear her out. I'm fascinated.
They look like nice people, but there are so many of them.
Sorry about this delay, but authors are temperamental too. The same as actors and everyone else connected with the creative arts. As I was saying, look at these 5 people, ladies and gentlemen. What do you see? Yes. Genius! Yes, that's what you see. 5 brains which have been dedicated to murder.
Don't tempt us.
WMT Studios has brought together, at great expense, these 5 minds to collaborate and become one, to bring you the great mystery series of all time. What we hope will be television's finest hour. Now, let me introduce them to you, the faces behind the book jackets, as it were.
Does she write her own material?
Jessica and Whitney Olive, authors of over 30 bestsellers, former joint presidents of the Crime Writers League, and darlings of International Society. You may applaud if you wish.
Thank you.
I can't tell you how I feel being here.
Oh, I feel great.
Thank you. Mildred Z. Maxwell, specialist in the surprise ending, the woman who has kept us up at night waiting for the final page of her latest mystery.
I'm constantly thinking of new ways to kill people.
Brad Benedict, the man who modernized the spy. His heroes are hard-hitting and perform with no holds barred, whether it's with the enemy or with a beautiful woman.
Thank you.
And finally, Rodney Ducton, the gentleman who terrified us when we were young with such monsters as the creeping fiend, the crawling hand, and the ghoulish girl, and who later went on to create the master private eye of the 30s, the one and only two-fisted and two-gunned Jack Club.
It was nothing really, more of an extension of myself. You see, when I was just a boy growing up
Rodney, do sit down. No one needs to hear about the 1890s. Let's party.
It is my idea, or rather the idea of WMT Studios.
Oh, watch that or you'll get
To
fired.
combine these talents, to put a little Maxwell here, a splash of Benedict, a dose of Ducton, a few dashes of olives, and come up with a tossed salad of murder.
Block that metaphor.
This stage setting, which you see before you, is an exact reproduction of the living room at Victor's Vault.
Does everything have to be literally?
From the time when buccaneers sailed the Spanish Main, there has been a house on a small island off of Jamaica which has been shrouded with mystery. That house is called Vulture's Vault. That famous pirate Redbeard built it with slave labor, stored his riches there, and died in the very room we have copied for you. During the 20s, Vulture's Vault was used as a storage depot to store liquor being run illegally into the United States. That is the wrong card. I must have mixed them up. Oh, there it is. Sold in 1931 to Morgan Fitzbee, it is the island where the multimillionaire recluse met his unfortunate end, a knife protruding from his back.
This dialogue is terrible.
Appalling.
Miss Maxwell, I am not a successful author like you. Your turn will come.
You know, if she doesn't shut up soon, the audience will leave.
Hang on, it can't get much worse.
Oh, if there are any reviewers in the audience, that's what is known as a
As you
call.
can see, we are all very informal at this gathering. Tonight, our authors will get acquainted with each other and their working methods. It will just be a little fun.
Oh, I hate games.
I rather fancy myself at cribbage. You
Mr.
see, the
Dustin.
secret is- Sorry.
Immediately following this show, our authors will be flown to the Caribbean, where tomorrow they will travel by small boat to Vulture's Vault. There, ladies and gentlemen, they will create stories of suspense, intrigue, and murder, a series rivaled by none in the history of television. Oh dear, I rather expected a little applause there.
And another copywriter's head will fall.
The series will be shot on this very set with the leading actors of a bygone era. WMT has brought back stars who, along with these authors, you have almost forgotten. Let me remind you of the ironclad contracts our lawyers have drawn up, and also the salaries you are being paid. And the fact that your combined sales in the last, say, 2 years have not equaled a month of the country's bestseller.
Is the thermos empty?
I can drink hemlock.
Jack Club would blast his way out of here.
I should have planted a homing device on her last week.
Now for our get acquainted game. The envelope,
This
please.
is too much.
Perfect, thanks. Inside here are 12 slips of paper. Each slip has one word on it. That word is the motive. There are such things as lust, greed, money, etc. I shall have you, Miss Maxwell, pick one paper.
I like password better.
Then you can toss the motive around until you come up with a plot. We shall watch your minds mesh together on your first collaboration. Isn't this exciting?
Are we allowed to enter?
No! Then, with this and the publicity we all shall get when we arrive at Walter's Vault, the series will be pre-sold.
When do we start work?
The day after you arrive, after an early morning press conference, you will be left completely alone to create.
Oh, wait a minute. Who creates in the kitchen? The only thing I know how to make properly is a quiche Lorraine.
Oh, do you use Swiss or Gruyere?
Gruyere, I find it just tastes so...
You will have the proper retinue of staff. Your only responsibility is to bring back 13 plots in 3 weeks.
Yes.
Yes.
I noticed it, though.
3 weeks.
All right, Miss Maxwell, draw me, please.
This is deadlier than the draft lottery. Murder Julie
Thank God!
Just trying for a little humor.
Someone's got to entertain these people.
It says jealousy.
Oh, that's as original as sin.
Perfect. Now I'll just disappear in this corner over here and you can start plotting.
My darling.
That's that one plot. But if we just...
I can't just sit here and think of a plot. I always do my best work in the early morning.
I have to slouch in my chair for weeks before I can come up with something workable.
If you all want to go out and have some concessions or something, we'll ring a bell when we've come up with a good jealousy plot.
I'm jealous of anyone who isn't here.
Oh, me too, darling.
No.
Then it was... Oh, because...
I have an old plot that's been kicking for some time. I'll give it to you and we can toss it around.
Please
Who's that salad again?
Well, here goes. I hope none of you paid to get in here.
Well, the press always gets passes.
Then they're getting their money's worth. Now, all I've plotted of this is the middle and the end. By the way, I hope you've all read my books. They're available in paperback, unless, of course, you prefer hardcover.
Miss Maxwell, please, no commercials. I'm sorry.
All right, dear. Well, here's my plot. We have the usual husband who's married a woman for her money. She should be rich, prominent, and a witch. Oh, am I allowed to say words like that on here?
Censorship is at a new low. However, on the show, we would simply call her a bad woman.
All right. Well, this wife is a bad woman. She is tired of her husband and is about to divorce him, and he'll be left with nothing. So, naturally, this being a murder story, he decides to kill her.
Oh, but that happens every time.
Now, I know this all seems usual so far, but Mildred Z. Maxwell always has some surprises up her typewriter. Now, this husband... Oh, I've never been good at telling stories. I wish you all could see the characters just as I do.
Oh, but they can, Miss Maxwell. Just use your imagination. Describe them and we shall see them. Yes.
I'll try. The husband plots the murder most ingeniously. He has hired a third cousin or an old ne'er-do-well classmate or someone like that and paid them to be an accomplice. The husband should be good-looking in a way and dressed in a fine suit. And his name shall be George. Yes, perfect! That's George. Isn't imagination just wonderful?
No, that suit's an appallingly
Shh,
bad.
darling, this is her story.
He is good-looking. Oh, and he's broken one of his arms. That's a most important plot point. Now for the ne'er-do-well. He should be, of course, ne'er-do-well looking. Yes, perfect, that's him. George is just finishing plotting the murder, he says.
And that's all you have to do. Here's your plane ticket to Chicago, made out under my name.
And you're sure nothing can go wrong?
I've worked out even the smallest detail.
I haven't yet, of course, but I shall.
You will wear a cast and a sling. This will make you immediately identifiable. You will board the 11 o'clock plane, slouch down in your seat, and pretend to be asleep for all of it. No one will notice anything except the fact that you have a broken arm. Tomorrow when you land, there will be 80-some-odd people who will swear I was on flight 752 at the time of the murder.
Let us hope so.
It's foolproof. At 11:30, while you're somewhere between New York and Chicago, I shall get rid of Martha. And there's nothing that the authorities can prove. While I have the best motive, I was 30,000 feet in the air at the time it happened. A perfect alibi. At 12:30, I shall get on a flight to Chicago under an assumed name. There I will find the news that Martha's body has been found. I shall be properly shocked and attend the funeral like the dutiful husband I am, and inherit the estate, oh, so reluctantly. And there's nothing that Roger will be able to prove.
Roger's the new man.
Martha always has a new man, ready, willing, and younger.
And you're sure there's no way of connecting me to you?
How could they? As far as anyone knows, we haven't seen each other in 15 years.
Well, there is one thing you've overlooked.
And that is,
The money.
it's all here.
I'll be thinking of you tonight.
And I'm thinking of the future.
Now, the climax scene I've plotted at 11:30 that night. The wife, Martha, should be at home. She should be dressed in some sort of negligee. They always seem to be. And she should be pretty, but a trifle hard-looking. Yes, perfect. That's Martha. Perhaps she's on the phone with this Roger.
Yes, Roger, darling.
Stop! We need some music to contradict with the atmosphere. Can I have a radio, please?
Anything you wish.
Radio! Radio!
Oh, yes, perfect.
What
Thank you.
service, thank you.
You're welcome.
It should be playing music.
Right. Charlie, music!
Martha is on the phone.
He's gone. Just a quick divorce and we'll be together. No, he leaves on the 11 o'clock flight from Newark Airport. The poor thing won't be able to carry all his luggage with that broken arm. He'll have to tip a sky gap. That'll really hurt him. What? Mexico, I think divorce is overnight. Of course you can, Roger, darling. I wouldn't dream of going alone. First thing in the morning, Roger. Why not lunch at 1? Pick me up here. Till then. Yes, I am. Mwah. Hello? Is someone there? Who is it?
Hello, Martha.
What are you doing here? Did you get drunk and miss the plane?
I've never been more sober in my life.
I don't think I've ever seen you sober.
Take a good look.
You are sober. It's because you have to buy your own scotch now. We can get out. I've had my last look at you.
How right you are.
Just what does that mean?
I'm going to kill you.
Don't be ridiculous.
I'm serious, Martha. Do you really think I'd give up the job of being your husband without any sort of retirement plan?
You didn't retire. You are fired. Now get out. Go get on another plane.
You see, I'm on one already. There's a plane flying over the country with a man dressed like me on it. I have any number of witnesses who will swear I was not here but there. It's all beautifully thought out.
You're bluffing. Now get out of here, I'll call the police.
You won't have time.
I know you too well. You might think of something like this, but you never have the guts to go through with it.
You're wrong, Martha.
Oh!
Leader of this program for news bulletin. Amalgamated Airlines Flight 752 from Newark to Chicago has crashed outside of Cleveland, Ohio. There are no survivors.
Surprising! I'm famous for it. Shock it to him with the last line. Do I get some applause for that? I suppose so. Now, I know there are some details to work out, but we have our jealousy, the husband jealous of Roger, and the money which would be rightfully George's. What do you think?
I know it's nice, but
What?
well, there's no one you really care about.
I never cared for anyone much in your books.
Well, now, let's not get testy. I always had a sympathetic ingenue in there somewhere.
Pathetic ingenue.
Perhaps if they were nicer people, they met at a cocktail bar, and there was some pleasant chit-chat, and then
But that's not the way Mildred writes, Jess.
Well, we're collaborating, aren't we?
What if we update it? What if George was working with the CIA and he knew that Roger was working for some foreign power? Then George can plant a honing device under Roger's lapel and he can listen in on all the conversations. Audiences love that sort of thing, you know.
Perhaps if we make it a really good horror story. If they used to play well, maybe it's time for a comeback. If this were one of those silence movies I used to write, no, Miss Maxwell, I'll show you.
Oh, monsters are out, Mr. Duxton. They really are.
My climactic scenes are classics. They don't make them that way anymore. Remember Frankenstein? Dracula? Well, I was way ahead of those boys. Lon Chaney and the Silence. That's when we really had terror. There was always a mad scientist, and he was always jealous because the ingenue loved another. Now, the ingenue is this beautiful girl. Ah, magnificent. The mad scientist will ask once more for her hand in marriage. If refused, he will call in the monster he has created to kill her. You'll note she doesn't see the monster until the last possible moment. Suspense. Now for the mad scientist. In all modesty, I must say I don't think I could conjure up as good a mad scientist as I myself would make.
Oh, when did I do that? We're always acting things out.
You know, I fancy myself the John Hughes.
Really? I never know.
Please. You must remember, I still think of these plots in terms of silent films and those wonderful title cards. Dialogue was so unimportant. Music created the atmosphere. Music? Ready? Action! Evidently not.
I'd to have the audience be frightened of that. You'd have to have the audience of that era. You're not that old, are you?
They have changed, haven't they?
But that's the issue. You changed too. You gave up horror and introduced Jack Clubb. Sure, that started the hard-hitting eras of detectives, but that would be parody now too.
You really think so?
Of course. I'll show you.
Well, I don't think I want you to.
Oh, but I'd enjoy it. Please, I've been quivering on the sidelines waiting to get into the act. Now you sit over there, and Jess and I will show you what your Jack Club would look like now.
Goody, I'm a marvelous actress.
Do you think this will accomplish anything?
Give them a chance.
Oh, can we do it a little bit?
We may have to call on a figment or two like the others. Now I'll play Jack Club, and you play the usual girl, all right?
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, I feel I must apologize.
What for?
This isn't exactly what we planned on. This is more of a happening than a mystery seminar. You haven't collaborated yet.
Oh, sit down! You got us here, now let us do our job.
This isn't what I had in mind at all.
Jack Club's story is always started with the hard-hitting narration setting up the scene, as it were. It was a cold morning, and the city was cold steel, like every heart in it. It had been a tough night. Violence was my friend. My name is Jack Club. I started out the date with my usual day cap. Suddenly, I felt this tight knot in my gut. That was a sign this wasn't going to be an ordinary day. I waited. Then she came in. She came in!
Oh, sorry, darling, once again.
Then she came in. Oh, she was bad. All bad. Her lips formed a wicked smile. She was courtly and built like some Venus de Milo, but she had arms that held men, many men. I got her. She came at me like a bulldozer clearing a garbage dump. Her eyes searched me up and down like a Geiger counter. Then she spoke.
I'm in trouble. Big trouble.
My name is Trouble.
Kiss me hard.
You're bad. All bad.
My husband is dead.
I'm falling for you, baby. I'm falling fast.
They think I shot him.
Did you?
What do you think?
I think you're bad. Oh, bad.
It was his stepdaughter, Stephanie. She shot me because he threatened to leave the money to me. Kiss me quick.
You bad, baby. I got it.
You're tough, Jack Club. All tough.
Where is this broad, Stephanie?
I don't know.
Stephanie Maldor, that's me.
She's rotten. All rotten.
But innocent. So innocent.
That woman killed my father!
It was you. All you.
Believe me, please believe me.
Oh, I do, baby.
But what of us? Our love. What is I?
It's over, baby. All over.
But what was my mistake?
Putting your hand on my cheek. It's there. All there.
What is?
Powder burns from the gun you used to shoot your husband.
I'm sorry it had to end like
Oh.
this. Don't shoot him, Billy.
Oh.
Oh.
She's dead. All dead.
Forget about her, Jack Club. It's just you and me now.
It's no good, baby. The memory of Stephanie Mildor will always haunt us. Give me that.
No.
Yes, so bang.
I underestimated you, Jack Club. You are hard. Oh, hard.
Poor Stephanie. She was good. All good.
Jack, I love you. Let me go with a kiss.
What?
Oh.
It had been another day. I'd found two loves and lost two loves. The sun set. The city was cold steel again like every heart in it. And my name is Jack Club.
Exactly right. You see, Mr. Dumpton, everything they've done is a parody. We are anachronisms.
Perhaps. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Olive.
Of
Your
course.
performances were quite something.
Oh, I'm not quite sure I know how to take that.
Don't just take it and be quiet.
Okay.
I don't agree, however. I mean, my style of writing is still current, and nothing's come along to replace it yet.
Oh, we can take that off too. Come on, Whitley, let's show up. I'm just getting warmed up.
No, this is for me. I'll show what Mr. Benedict, his Mr. Taylors are like if he wants. I'm not so sure I do want to. But it's my turn to twist the knife, as it were. We'll take one of Mr. Benedict's famous CIA men. We'll pick him up in one of your climactic scenes. Mr. Benedict, you act it out. Over here.
But how will I know what to say?
It's my version of your story, so you'll say what I'm thinking. Okay. Here goes. We find our hero about to stop the takeover of all Allied missile information by Chaotic. Those are the bad men. The organization always has initials that spell out a name. You've noticed that, haven't you? Mr. Benedict's hero has also been looking for the super spy. Super spies always have catchy names, too. We'll call this one Silverleg. Now, Mr. Benedict's hero has been having various affairs with various girls in various unusual places, like Turkish baths, cemeteries, and the subway, but only the express line. We now find him in his beach house with his beautiful secretary.
There's something about you, 276390845, something different.
My pajamas are custom made.
I so enjoyed this assignment, working for you all day, all night, Bill.
And now the assignment has come to an end.
No, 276390845. I'm like contact paper. I'm gonna stick around.
But I found out who Silverleg is.
You couldn't have.
Yes, I could. I planted one of these. This is a honing device, and I've been listening in. This is a miniature broadcasting station, and I found out everything.
No!
Yes, I'm sorry, Beauty, but I'm gonna have to turn you in.
Not yet.
No! Business before pleasure.
Wait, there's just one more thing I've got to know.
Which is?
Where did you plant the honing device?
There you are, Mr. Benedict.
Is that how my books seem?
Your detectives are just as ridiculous as mine if you present them that way.
Don't stop, please, Mr. Duckton. Go on.
But that's the end.
But where was the homing device planted?
Well, I haven't the faintest idea. I don't write stories like that.
Spoiled sport.
We've seemed to have lost our purpose. If we keep jabbing at one another ideas, we'll never collaborate.
What we all need is a drink.
Oh, you've run out of your allotted time. The unions, you know. The limousine will arrive in 20 minutes to take you to the airport.
This is rather stupid, don't you think? We're supposed to fly down there, spend the night in some dreary little hotel, then clamber into some leaky boat that will take us to an island that looks exactly like this set. I mean, why don't we just stay here?
Exteriors. Although the action you write will mostly take place in this room each week, we want you to include some outside shots. Then there's the press. They will come out Friday morning to take pictures of you in the actual house. Feature stories, you know. Publicity will make the show, not the script.
Oh, well, is that just...
Dear, I didn't mean to say that.
But you did say it.
I suggest we call this whole thing off and disband until the limousine arrives.
Well, frankly, I don't see that we're going to get any farther there than we have here.
I agree.
Maybe we will if we stop making fun of each other's styles. We each have something individual to contribute.
Exactly right, young man. Now, why don't we all go get that drink?
Oh, there's a rather festive-looking lounge across the street.
We'll
Sounds
see you in the
great.
limousine, Mr. Summers.
In 20 minutes, I shall fly down with you and then go straight to Vulture's Vault tonight to make preparations. We wouldn't dream of making you take the flight tonight.
Oh, thank goodness I get seasick enough in the daytime.
Wait a minute. Thank the audience
For what, darling?
for coming.
We didn't invite them. Thank you anyway.
Same here.
They've been remarkably quiet. I should think they've been bored to death.
I think they are.
I just felt embarrassed.
This next scene takes place at Vulture's Vault, and I'm sure you'll find it more entertaining. It's got to be. I really do apologize on behalf of WMT Studios, but at least you get a chance to see how these series really start. I really don't know what else to say. Oh, perhaps we'd best have the curtain now. Oh dear, I hope the stage manager hasn't left. Curtain! Oh, thank goodness.
I was calling you, Jane.
I heard you, that's why I'm here.
I saw the launch on the horizon. It will be here in 3 minutes.
Oh dear.
What's bothering you?
The dinner! The recipe Miss Summers gave me is rather fussy.
I'm sure it will be just as delightful as you are, my dear.
Thank you. But I'm not used to a gas stove. All the families I worked for on the mainland had electric.
I have confidence in you, Jane. As does Madame Summers.
How do you know what she does if you never saw her till last night?
I have ways of knowing.
If you ask me, Miss Summers is going to have a nervous breakdown before this is over.
I know. I held her pacing the floor of her bedroom all night.
When I went in there this morning, her bed hadn't been slept in.
Have you seen Elle today?
Haven't laid eyes on her. She says she usually doesn't have breakfast, but she didn't take lunch either. Not as much as a cup of coffee. It makes me nervous.
Peculiar. Most peculiar. Perhaps she's waiting at the dock for the launch. You had better go and check.
I've got dinner to look after.
There will undoubtedly be a long cocktail hour first. Go to the dock, Jane.
But my roast is...
To the dock!
I don't like going down that steep path.
You're perfectly safe. It's daylight now.
I want to go out there at night. The dark makes me nervous. I've always been scared of it.
Jane, the launch will be landing. Go!
Yes, sir.
You're not supposed to be here. The authors are arriving to fulfill their commitments, but they do not know what they've committed themselves to. It is for them to find out alone. You disappear now! Good. We are all alone now.
I must say, the outside looks like Forest Lawn.
I hope it is a bar.
Are you all right, Mildred?
Oh, just queasy from the boat trip.
That's something I've never been bothered with. A weak stomach.
Well, bully for you.
In my books, they would have flown us here in a helicopter.
Brad,
Oh,
I've had enough.
whatever.
Summers was right. It is exactly the same.
Exactly.
Amazing what set designers do, isn't it? This is real, all right. No canvas.
I can create here. I feel it in my bones. This just calls for a corpse to be sprawled on it.
I go for Danish modern myself. Oh, this sofa's early Salvation art.
It's a commanding view, all right. I like it here. I fit right in.
I wouldn't brag. Whitney, look, it's exactly what your Aunt Jenny got us for a wedding present. Who knew there were two of them?
I'm rather worried about the reception we got. That lovely girl met us and then scampered off to the back door. Where is everybody?
That was strange.
Whitney, it's a vampire!
You must be Gregory.
That is correct.
Mrs. Summers told us you'd be here. I'm Brad Benedict.
I know who you are. I know who you all are.
And we know who you are, so we're even.
What are your wishes?
Isn't it cocktail time?
You wish it to be, sir?
I wish it to be desperately.
Then I shall prepare.
Whitney, how's the heart?
Rodney, move, a vampire is coming right at us. Rodney is gonna eat you, Rodney!
You will pardon me.
That's a creepy one, isn't it?
The odd servant standard of my earlier works. He's so beautifully nebulous.
Do you suppose we're supposed to work with that looking down at us?
I believe that's a rather excellent painting.
You can tell by scratch it with a fingernail.
Oh, I don't think Miss Summers would approve.
It's very barren here. I always thought the tropics were lush with lots of vegetation and...
You didn't write great, did you?
No, darling, that was Somerset Maugham.
There is nothing but typing paper here.
What did you expect, dear? A will to be read at midnight?
Well, I thought Miss Summers might leave us a note or something.
Strange, she didn't meet us in the dark.
Exactly.
If she's changing into black tie, I shall spit.
You'll be just
She's
fine.
gotta be around here somewhere.
Yes, but where?
Oh, here she is.
Is she?
She's dead.
Oh my God! A knife in the back.
Darling, a real murder.
Out of a closet. Too perfect to believe.
What shall we do?
Call everybody together and expose the murder.
Who is it?
I haven't gotten that far.
Oh dear.
Well, what's wrong?
Well, I've never seen a real dead body before. Is that what they look like?
Evidently.
Well, one thing is certain.
What?
We have the beginning of our plot. Now all we have to do is to solve it.
Excuse me, please, but I do believe that I'm going.
Oh my
Hey.
God! Hurry
Try to drink this, Rodney, please. It's a stimulant.
I know that. I've written these scenes too, you know.
Have we come into focus yet?
I can see you both quite plainly now.
That's a good sign.
This is the first time I ever fainted.
Oh, have some more.
What did it feel like, Rodney? In my books, I always describe it as the hero feels the room spinning round and round, and then they fall into a dark tunnel.
Well, you're wrong. I felt sick and woke up on the floor.
Disappointing indeed.
5-star, another Brandy Gregory.
Yes, madam.
Shall we try sitting up now?
You're just like all nurses.
so healthy.
I am a me, not a we. You are not sick, and I shall try sitting up now.
You're just cranky because you're embarrassed.
Where's Whitney and that Benedict fellow?
Oh, they've taken poor Miss Summers upstairs. It appears the East Room has a delightful view of the ocean.
Does it have twin beds, dear?
Why do you plan on moving in?
There's bound to be another one, you know.
Another murder?
Have you ever written a murder with only one corpse?
God, you're right. One in the beginning to get the reader's attention, and then another. What's the end?
Quickly, Gregory, please.
Yes, madam.
On you get, Rodney. We can't sit here all day. There's work to be done.
Yes, I know. Silly of me, I do apologize. The sight of that knife sticking out of Mr.
Poppycock! You've used knife dozens of times in your books.
It's one thing to describe a knife protruding between shoulder blades and blood running down a suit. But when you actually see it...
Easy on, Rodney. Think of something pleasant.
Oh, think of the money you're making.
I'm thinking.
Oh, the rainfall gets you.
Where's the brandy? There's bound to be brandy. There always is.
Oh, 5-star, darling. Gregory.
Oh, yes, madam.
Summers is lying there peacefully. Oh, it looks exactly as if she were...
What?
Oh, for God's sake. I was going to say, it looks exactly as if she were asleep. I stopped writing lines like that at NYU.
Now, carrying her upstairs was very interesting.
I couldn't be more pleased.
Well, seriously, I always have characters whipping bodies around as if they're toothpicks, but she was damn heavy.
Perhaps you're not very strong.
Hey.
She was dead weight, I tell you.
This is no time for levity. Drink that.
Thank you, Gregory.
She's really dead, isn't she? You know if you carried her upstairs instead of fainting.
Well, I'm sorry I was unable to
It's okay. I'm younger than you are.
I don't think it's necessary to point that out.
You removed the knife, of course.
Yes.
Oh, I'll never forget it. It was like taking a knife out of a wedge of cheese.
Oh, camembert or Roquefort.
More like camembert, I think. It just sort of slid out.
That's going to be something.
It's something already.
I'm talking about our next books. I can't wait for the viewers to notice we've all used the same line. The knife slid from the back like it was sliding from a wedge of camembert cheese.
Excuse me, but what shall I do about dinner?
Well, what did you have in mind?
Serve it or freeze it?
Oh, freeze.
You're not in the frame of mind to eat right now, are you?
No!
I was kind of hungry.
As long as there's like some more bread. Is there a wine cellar? Some.
No.
No, you can live off those.
No, she's not.
Yes, you
Isn't anyone going to do anything?
No need to be so shrill.
Do anything about what, dear?
Miss Summers!
She's in the East Room overlooking the ocean.
But she's dead!
We know that.
Murdered! Are you just going to sit there?
Jane, you must control yourself.
Very good, Gregory. When the ingenue bursts into hysteria, someone always says you must control yourself. Do you write?
No, Miss Maxwell.
I'm sorry, but you're all sitting there doing nothing! Shouldn't someone call the police?
Is she serious?
Impossible,
Oh,
isn't
out of the question.
Oh, you're very naive, Jane, is it?
Yes, but what is naive about calling the police? Isn't that what they're there for?
We can't call them.
Why not?
it? Well, naturally, the phone is dead.
You've tried it?
We don't have to.
What do you mean?
Shall we explain to her?
It's very simple, Jane. You see, we, the 5 great mystery authors of all time, are brought here. We walk through the door, a body flops from the closet. Do you really expect that we'll be able to just phone the police on the mainland? Nonsense. Of course the phone is dead. It has to be.
But this isn't a story, this is real!
We're all aware of that. We're also aware the phone is dead as a doornail.
You're all crazy! I don't believe you. I'll do it!
Church naivety, it's so rare.
Hello? Hello? The phone is dead.
Now that we've wasted 10 lines of dialogue, what shall we do? Any suggestions?
I don't suppose any of you have a pencil radio.
I don't even have a pencil.
Well, in my books, we would just take out a pencil, raise the antenna, and talk to the CIA. Someone like that.
And perhaps that's why your books aren't selling very well.
They did a hell of a lot better than yours did last year.
Oh, I'll have you know that mine
Oh, come on! With your single murder.
We must not bicker. We all have respect for one another. Remember? Remember?
Yes. I'm sorry, Miss Maxwell. I've always bowed to your plot lines.
Thank you.
And?
And I've always thought that your ingenious devices were marvelous.
Thank you.
Fantasies, but marvelous.
They do have pencil radios, you know.
Oh, but using all those gadgets
you have
Now
a little.
ascertained that none of us have a pencil radio, or a ray gun, or a laser beam, and that Mr. Benedict won't self-destruct in 5 seconds. What do we do now?
Drink?
Marvelous idea.
You two certainly stay in character.
We try to.
Then I suggest we get some food before you hit Lotto.
Oh, that sounds
I
like
agree
fun.
wholeheartedly. Jane, dear, would you go to the kitchen and make us some small sandwiches? I'm sure there's something back there to slap between 2 pieces of bread.
Yes, Miss Maxwell.
Oh, I hope she doesn't try slapping around caviar. Sounds rather mushy.
I think this kitchen is definitely
I
salami.
don't suppose they have any cottage cheese.
Jack Club would eat a raw steak after he took off his eye.
I know about those cocktails.
Oh, I think so.
I shall prepare some cocktails if you wish.
Do all butlers eavesdrop, Gregory?
In your books, madam.
Oh, touche.
Martinis.
Oh, perfect! I have a bottle of Bombay gin in the initial case with my luggage.
I have already brought in all the bags and have taken the liberty of placing the Bombay in the pantry. We only have kilpins.
Oh, perfect! Gregory, you are a true gentleman's gentleman.
Thank you, sir.
Well, now that we've taken care of the nourishment situation, what next?
Someone must be in charge to find clues and ask questions.
Oh, correct.
Yes, but which of us?
Well, Wint and I are a team, so we're out.
Tragic.
What if it's about you, Rodney? We'll take it in order of seniority.
I wish you wouldn't keep harping on age.
I was referring to experience.
Yes.
Well, Miss Maxwell is somewhat older.
What was that, dear?
But it's just that according to mystery writers, who's who, you predate me by.
That is simply because when my first book came out, I said I was 20, even though I was only 18 to make me seem more mature.
Oh, then it's settled. Rodney, you have the floor.
I always thought that was so stupid. You have the floor. I mean, what are you supposed to do with it? Polish it?
Mrs. Aldous, there is a time and a place where you are celebrated with, and this is neither the time nor the place. I must have a moment to think.
Plunge ahead. That's my motto. If you spend all day sitting at the typewriter staring out the window, you'll get nothing written. I draw the blinds.
Quiet, please. I wish to assess all that has happened and then begin questioning. Obviously, none of us did it. That means it is either Gregory or Jane. But she is too young and naive to be true, and he is definitely an odd servant. Odd servants are very often murderers. I'm something of a genius mystery writer, and I've never fooled myself. There it is. It's a fact. I am a genius. I created Jack Clubb. If I simply act the way he would act, then all of this would be solved promptly. He would know there's something rotten about those two domestics. It's too hard to get servants these days to have two of them just sitting around on this island. The thing to do is eavesdrop and find out what they know. If I could only get them alone. Good, I've got rid of the others. Now to get the odd servant and naive girl in here. Here they come. Nothing beats imagination for getting things done quickly. Now, I'll simply slip behind here. Remember, Rodney, you're tough, like Jack Clubb. Tough as nails.
Go check over there. Good. They took a powder.
How much time we got?
I can signal now.
You're a genius, Gregory.
Well, I am. The boss!
Was it tough rubbing out Summers?
Nah, just like sticking a knife in a wedge of camembert cheese.
You gonna give it to the others?
If they get in the way, we'll sink them in the ocean to make galoshes.
Let's do it anyway, just for practice.
Let's get the ice first, and then we can have fun afterwards.
500 clams and uncut diamonds, emeralds and rubies just sitting out there in a dinghy.
The biggest heist in history. And they said the crown jewels couldn't be stolen. They reckoned without... Whoa! The boss!
But you blew it!
What do you mean by that?
Ow, you're hurting me!
You only hurt the one you love.
Your ace is with me.
How'd that work?
Them writing people coming here. You didn't figure that.
No sweat. Summers came first and got the camembert cheese treatment. And then I'll deliver the diamonds. And then the boat comes in and delivers the diamonds. And we'll be off on anywhere you like. Rio, Capri, Detroit.
This is it, one big heist and then easy street.
Hang loose. And remember, you're mine. All mine.
The jewels. That dumb cluck. Little does he know that once he gets them, it's curtains for the boss. That's right, curtains!
Hiya, baby.
Who are you?
They call me Jack Clubb. There.
Jack Clubb, the private eye.
You tagged it, baby.
There ain't a hood in the underworld whose chin you ain't scarred, and ain't a hood stain whose lips you ain't blistered.
So they tell me.
How'd you get here?
Swear.
You're tough, Jack Clubb. All tough.
So they tell me. Now let's level. Them jewels getting here in 30 minutes.
You heard?
I clean my ears with a barrel of my 22.
What are you gonna do?
Them jewels go back to the Queen of Alanya. As for you, baby.
Yes?
You're about to get blistered. I'll have unguentine in your lipstick.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Kissing you, baby. Kissing you hard.
Well, just lay off!
You didn't like it?
I just as soon kiss a dried sponge.
What's Nara supposed to say? This whole thing is going wrong.
The boss and I get the jewels, and you get a shiv in the back, the same as Julie Summers.
Lured her to her death, eh? I can see it now. She steps towards you, puckers up, and Gregory knifes her in the back.
Smart, ain't ya? I can't resist ya.
Well, I'm too smart to fall for that one, baby.
You wouldn't kiss me even if I begged ya.
Not after a bit about the dried sponge.
I was only fooling. Come on, I like antiques.
Well, since you can't resist, maybe one little smack here, it's under and stir.
Wow!
Ow! That hurts!
It's supposed to!
No, that really hurts! Oh!
Why did he fall down?
He's got a head like a pair of cement galoshes.
I had no idea it would hurt this much. Whenever I have my characters get hit in the head, they shake it off and go into a fist fight. But this really hurts.
What's going on down here? Who is yelling like that?
True there, Mrs. Olive. I'm afraid they had to resort to violence.
Who are you?
Jessica, please.
My God, it's Jack Clubb. Thank goodness I learned routine in my mistake.
He's the murderer, there, Gregory, and she's the accomplice, and my head.
The servants, oh no, Mr. Clubb, the servants never do that anymore. That's passé.
See for yourself, I'll prove it to you. Get over there. This is it, Jane. The showdown. You take him, Jules. Or me, Jack Clubb. And no Jules. No one can resist me, though I'm tough. All tough.
Okay, baby. What do you say?
She has no choice. Buddy.
Give me that. Here's my answer, old man.
I'm shot. I'm actually shot. And it hurts. It's not at all like I thought it would be. I always write, hot lead ripped through his shoulder, but this is worse than that. It just plain hurts. How can I expect my characters to carry on after something like this? They ought to go to the hospital for weeks, then get workman's compensation. I never thought it would be like this, but I suppose it must be. I always thought of myself as a realistic author, but all this head hitting and getting shot twice in the same book is no easy matter at all. No, I'm definitely not for reality. And now that I'm faced with a real murder, there's only one thing for me to do, and that's to shut up.
How much longer do we have to sit here and wait for you to assess all that has happened?
I have come to a conclusion.
Perfect.
And that is to say that I have nothing at all to say, except that the butler did it.
Oh, come on.
Gregory? That's too obvious, old man.
Don't call me old man.
I wasn't referring to your age. It was a term of endearment. Don't be so sensitive to that.
You know, in my books, they didn't have any butlers. That was from a different era.
You mark my words, the butler did it.
It's impossible.
Cocktails already.
Yes! It appears he did nothing except to make cocktails. Thank you, Gregory.
I wouldn't drink one of those.
I would and will.
Better have him take a sip first.
Nonsense. You've got a Roman Emperor complex.
Though, Rodney may have a point.
Would you mind, Gregory?
Not at all, sir. I do not like to drink on duty, but since you requested it.
Not too dry.
Perfection, sir.
Then I shall serve them.
Thank you, sir.
Are you satisfied, Rodney?
Perhaps it's a slow-acting poison. Give it a minute.
You hear a sort of gurgling gasp. What if you?
Gurgling gasp. Alliteration, I like that.
What do you suppose a gurgling gasp sounds
Oh,
like?
sort of like a little, like
A little exactly like that, I should imagine.
Anyone want to take a look?
I'm not budging from this spot. I don't react well to dead bodies.
Oh, Whitney, go see if Gregory is tossed off the mortal coil.
Well, I can't. I'd spill this tray of martinis.
Fine. I'll go look. At least I have a strong stomach.
If the butler's passed over, Rodney, doesn't that kind of knock your theory into a cocktail?
Perhaps he drank the martini knowing it was poison, but realizing he was cupped by
Twaddle.
Oh, I loathe battling.
I really wish Brad would hurry up. I'm dying for one of these. No! But not if they're lethal.
You said all right.
No! My
Well, now things are bustling. 2 down and 5 to go.
Poor guy looks terrible. All twisted up like a pretzel.
Oh, whenever I have someone poisoned, I say he grasped his throat and fell over dead.
Must have been agonizing. Want to take a look?
Oh, he'd better not. We're running low on brandy.
Jess, smell this glass you drank out of.
If the murderer had any sense at all, he'd use odorless. That's what I always use.
Oh, it's worse than moonshine.
All right, now smell the others.
What will that do?
Whether just one martini was poisoned or all of them.
Are you really going to drink now?
Anytime's a good time to drink.
If.
They smell great.
Yes, sir! Then we can drink them.
Have you no sympathy at all? First Summers and now Gregory dead?
Oh, it's the past. It's the future I'm looking forward to, and I can see a drink in mine. Cheers.
But if only one of the drinks was poisoned, the murderer mustn't have cared who got it. He mustn't have cared who drank the drink.
Well, it couldn't be one of us. We were here the whole time.
Well, we've been keeping a strict eye on each other. We're all suspects.
Oh, of course, darling.
Look, Brad and I washed up afterwards, after taking care of poor Summers. It was separately, of course. Mildred rushed out to get the brandy when Rodney collapsed, and Mildred went to the ladies when we were waiting for Rodney to take over the questioning. There we are.
Obviously, I am exonerated.
No. You were hovering by the tray when you brought it in. You could have slipped something in it.
For that matter, so could you.
Well, now that you bring it up, yes.
So any one of us could have either slipped something in the drink or perhaps the glass before it was mixed.
Well, isn't it marvelous? We're all still in the running.
Did you expect anything less, dear? It's too soon to find out the guilty party.
What about the maid?
Oh, Jane,
Hadn't we better tell her?
Oh, she'll find out.
Well, how?
Like that. She was bound to stumble over him sooner or later.
Help! Something terrible
That's a trifling, dear.
He's just lying there in the pantry!
Oh, and you're properly hysterical. Good girl, come with me and I'll make you some tea.
Summers and no crackers!
No need to sum it up, dear. We can do the math. Carry along, I'll be right with you. Good, now take a giant step. Good.
Mildred is quite calm about this, isn't she?
Don't start pitting us against each other. There's always such boring scenes.
Well, then if somebody's out there, we should go out and find him.
Or her. Always say him or her. Never narrow down the field until you're certain.
Let's search the island.
Oh.
Why?
It always is. If you'd paid attention to the older genre of mysteries, like Mildred's and mine, then you would know that we are alone here.
But hadn't we better make sure?
Suppose you're right.
We'll all go off in different directions and scour the place.
It won't take long.
Okay, I'll go this way. Wait, you can go that way. Ronnie, you take the north, and Jess, you can go upstairs.
Oh, good. I didn't want to scrape my shoes on the rocks. These are I. Millard heeled.
We paid for them.
Oh, yes, we did.
Ready? Go!
Stop! Where are you going?
This young fellow thinks we should search the island.
Waste of time. Naturally, we're all alone here.
I know that. The Olives know that. You obviously know that, but he doesn't know it.
Then we'll prove it to him. Where do I go?
You take the wine cellar.
Oh,
Well, I'll trade with you.
I'm giving out the assignments. Ready? Go!
Which way is north again?
That way!
Oh, I wish someone would move this party.
Got you!
Oh my God! Oh, Whitney Olive, don't you dare do that to me again!
It was really fun.
No, it was not! Oh, this searching business is ridiculous!
I knew
But
you'd
we
come back
do
here
have to
like
figure
a homing pigeon.
All this searching business is ridiculous, but we do have to humor the younger generation.
No, that's a really well-mixed martini. Oh, too bad he died.
Oh, Whit, I feel terribly guilty.
Look here, you didn't do it, did you?
Of course not. But here we are, up to our collective necks in 2 murders, and I'm not as nervous as I should be.
That's because we're used to it.
Only in an imaginary sort of way.
This whole thing doesn't feel real somehow.
Why don't we just solve it and get on with our writing? We're never going to be any deadline with bodies lying around the corridors not knowing who did it.
Well, do you suppose we could solve it?
But of course, darling, we've solved every murder we've ever been involved with.
Because we decided who the murderer was before they committed the crime. We're not working backwards this time.
It might be fun starting from the top. Now, we know it isn't any of us. I mean, a mystery writer committing murder, that would be dirty pool, wouldn't it?
Dishonorable discharge from the Mystery Writers Guild.
Then it must be Jane.
She's awfully pretty.
Do you remember the case of the 2-legged secretary?
Intimately.
It was your idea to have the pretty girl the murderess, and it went into second printing 2 weeks after publication.
You're right.
I usually am.
Conceded too.
Okay. Well, if it is Jane, what would we have her do if we were writing it?
Discovered committing another murder.
No, we'd have her make some idiotic slip, and then the beautiful, brilliant wife part that we created after me would say something like, "Aha! You slipped up that time."
I'd rewrite that line, but go on.
Now, all we have to do is to get Jane to make some idiotic slip.
But how?
Well, if you're writing half of this, give me some help.
I'm trying.
Oh, here she comes. Be nonchalant.
You look so nonchalant.
Oh, thank you, darling.
I wish I could be that calm, but every time I come out of the pantry, I have to step over Gregor.
Oh, you are indeed working, Gregor.
Salome! Where's everyone else?
Searching the island.
Oh, they won't find anyone on Vulture's Vault. Gregory and I have been here for 2 days and haven't seen a sign of a soul.
You were here alone?
Together.
Yes?
Were you lovers?
Of course not! What a thing to say!
Letting your imagination run away with you? Well, how well did you know Gregory?
Oh, we hadn't met until the launch to come here. You see, I've been out of a job because I've been ill. Up until last January, I was working for Mrs. Plato Underdog.
We've never met her.
A truly kind woman. She paid for my hospital bills.
How did she take you between houses in New York and Newport?
Oh, yes, indeed.
And out on her yacht?
Oh, yes.
Aha! You slipped up that time!
Oh, no!
I said I was going to rewrite that.
Don't you see what?
See what?
Mrs. Plato Underdog doesn't own a yacht. She gets seasick in her bathtub. That was your mistake, Jane. You revealed your true self.
All right, I did it. I killed them both.
Thank you.
You did it, darling. You're marvelous.
Oh, thank you, darling.
What's the matter with her?
Well, we've stopped imagining her readiness, so she must have stopped too.
We're just going to leave her like that?
Well, it's the end of the story. Close the book.
But this isn't how it would end if she really did commit 2 murders.
Probably not.
Judge!
Oh, with it.
She would do something desperate. Wouldn't she?
You're damned right she would.
Oh, I don't like this at all.
You stupid fools. Of course I'll do something desperate. I'll kill the 2 of you.
Oh, you mustn't kill the authors. That's like just shooting the head that takes you.
I agree wholeheartedly.
You first, Mr. Olive.
Why?
If you have anything to say, say it fast.
Could I have another martini?
No, stop it, both of you! I am writing half of this and I say, stop it! Oh, that's better. Whitney, come over here.
Oh.
What went wrong?
Well, we finished the story, all right, but there were a few extra pages.
Do you suppose that's how all our stories would go if they were real?
Probably.
I have definitely decided I don't approve of or take any delight in real murders at all.
Let's just drink our martinis and shut up.
Good idea. Well, I was right about one thing.
I'd like to know what.
The murderer must be Jane. There's no one else it could be.
It's too obvious. There's got to be a plot twist somewhere.
Stupid waste of time. Nothing to be found out there. Not even a decent rock formation.
Never mind, Rodney. We made the impetuous young author happy.
Merry
The
Christmas!
calendar watch must have stopped.
Guess what I found in the wine cellar?
Please
What?
say it's wine, please.
Oh, that's hardly surprising.
This looks older than your original horror.
Oh, and much more delicious. Don't just stand there, Mildred. Open it up and open it up. To anything in particular? To our partnership. It appears we've made 2 marvelous plot points already.
You're rather cold-blooded, you know. I suppose you'd like us to bury them both together with a double tombstone reading "Here lies 2 plot points."
That's not a bad idea.
Anyone find anything?
Mildred found a marvelous, decaying, bottle of aged wine.
I just screwed myself up, dear. I just don't know what to say.
I feel I must apologize to you all. You were right.
Live and learn.
The island is deserted.
Live and learn.
Now, if we'll all listen to me for a moment, please. I suggest we call Jane in and give her the 3rd degree. You know, under a bare bone, chewing gum and cracking nuts.
Because if it isn't Jane, it's one of us.
Impossible.
Rodney, you have been consistently wrong ever since this evening has started.
You think it's one of us.
It has to be. I just saw Jane with her head sticking in the oven and the gas turned
What?
on.
Dead.
Well, she wasn't baking an apricot upside down cake.
Good God, it's a stupid line, right?
Did you turn off the gas?
Well, now that's pertinent.
It seems to me it's time we solve these murders before we all end up dead. That's what always happens in those books by that woman, Agatha something.
Christie.
Yes, that's her. Why don't we take her original theories and go from there? In her books, the guilty party is always the least likely one. And who's that? Why, the one that's done away first. He's only pretending, of course.
That old hat, it's been done to death. I even saw it used in a play once. Any Number Can Die by Fred Carmichael.
Oh, it was terrible.
I had never heard of him.
Yeah, it really was.
Besides, that theory doesn't hold water. Summers is dead, all right. Whit and I carried her upstairs. We know.
Agreed.
So much for Agatha Christie.
Christy Garden.
She'll never last.
Of course. It could be one of us.
How?
All of us spent the night on that dreary hotel on the mainland. Any of us could have rented or stolen a launch, putt-putted over here, killed Summers, gone back again. A shot of Muriel in the eyes, and who would have known?
True.
Except Whit and I, of course, we're married and sleep together, as unusual as it is these days.
But either one of us could have given the other a sleeping pill and died.
You and your big mouth.
Just trying to help.
So now that all of us are potentially guilty, what next?
Perhaps if we all say what's on our minds, we'll hit on something.
Well, my mind's on
We know another drink.
Oh, really introduction, my dear Maxwell?
Right.
What about you, Benedict? We don't know what you're thinking.
Oh,
Come on, speak up.
If I were to say what was on my mind, I'm sure no one would agree. I was trained to think in a different era of time than you have. If I were like my heroes with their electronic equipment, I would go back to just before we went to search the island, before Jane was killed. This innocent-looking thing is a honing device. I could have planted one on each person, and then, with this innocent-seeming pen, I could have listened in on any conversation they might have had. That's what I remember. So, when they went to search... Ready? Go!
Which way is north again?
That way!
Oh, I wish someone would move this body.
Now, to use this innocent-seeming device.
For that peppy feeling, use Blood Pep every morning. It's time to stop being dead.
Wrong Jane.
I thought I'd never get you alone.
That's Jane's voice.
I've got the plans, but we better not be seen talking out here. Even those stupid authors might suspect something.
But who is she talking to?
Meet me in the living room. I've got the plans hidden away in a book. No, not here. Save the romance for later. All right, if you insist.
Ugh. Those spies are all the same. The living room. That's right here. I better conceal myself and find out who the master spy is.
Come on, hurry up before the others get back.
Where are the plans?
Keep your shirt on, I'm getting them.
Chaotic will pay millions for those. Millions.
Here they are.
Perfect. Every missile site on the eastern seaboard. How did you get there?
The usual way, no one can resist.
The entire eastern seaboard?
In 6 days, I was slowed down in Jacksonville.
Incredible.
Now I want what's coming to me.
And that's exactly what you're going to get.
I wanted the dough. This is no time to fix your hair with that innocent-seeming comb.
Your usefulness is over, my dear. Now the plans are all mine, and what to do with you. I know, the oven. Those stupid entrepreneurs suspect chaos is mixed up in all this. They're too concerned with themselves.
Now, to listen to what he's doing to that poor child.
Good Lord, she's heavy.
He's getting old.
I'm not getting old, just tired. Now, down you go. Open comes the oven door, and on goes the gas.
Now for the showdown. The way I read it, I take the plan to capture Rodney Dufton, Master Spy. Reality isn't so different from imagination after all.
Now, to condense these plans into a microdot film. Oh! Did you find anything in your search of the island?
Drop the act, Rodney. Give me the plans.
Of course. Brad. Benedict. Just as soon as I comb my hair.
Don't pull that innocent-seeming comb on me. See? This!
I know about the innocent-seeming cigarette lighter, and I can stop you fast enough.
Not the innocent-seeming wristwatch.
That's right, brother.
So you win. But you'll never keep the plans.
Of course I will. They're right here. They're mine. All mine.
Whoa!
Good Lord!
They self-destruct in 5 seconds after touching a chaotic agent.
I should have known. I killed Summers and Gregory and Jane to get those plans, and now they've all gone up in smoke. What
are you doing? Oh,
Just tying my shoelace.
You think that innocent-seeming shoelace will stop this innocent-seeming wristwatch, do you?
That's what it's made for.
Then take this.
The innocent-seeming tie clasp. Oh, this is wrong. All wrong. Chaotic isn't supposed to win.
You didn't write this, brother. This is reality.
Oh, Bradley Bruce Benedict, it isn't a good idea to say what's on your mind. Of course, Rodney may be the murderer. He's old and senile, and his mind may have snapped. No, stop it. Every time someone thinks they know who the murderer is, they end up getting killed. I'll just say nothing.
Mr. Benedict. Brad,
Oh, my mind was wandering.
you were just saying that if you said what was on your mind, we wouldn't agree. What is it?
It's nothing.
Just as I thought.
Naturally.
However, I can make a prediction.
Well, go ahead, make it.
Rodney, you are going to be killed next.
That's not a very polite thing to say.
But it follows the pattern.
Well, what pattern?
I'd rather not say.
If you know something and you're not telling us, that's cheating. We're supposed to be collaborating.
Yes.
Here is the first book I ever wrote.
This is no time for narcissism. Why did you say that I was going to be killed next?
Because you are.
Oh dear.
Everyone is wrong about everything tonight.
Thank God for that.
Of course he's dead. Ask a silly question, get a silly answer.
Oh, a poison gas capsule hidden inside of a cut-up book. Ingenious. The murderer knew this was a foolproof way of getting Brad.
Why? Any one of us could have opened that book?
No, not that book, honey. That was Brad's first book. Remember Lightning Q?
Oh God, yes. That was awful.
He improved after that.
The murderer knew no one would dare touch that book except for Brad. And of course, he couldn't resist it.
Marvelous, Mildred. Your deductive mind works even when you're not writing. Keep going.
Oh, I can't think of anything with that body in here. And since there are only two gentlemen left, I suggest they remove Mr. Benedict.
Oh, I agree.
Where to?
How should I know? With the others?
Well, Jane is in the kitchen.
Sounds easy.
But Summers is upstairs. But then Gregory's in the pantry. We'll put him there, it's close.
Young but heavy.
Well, now things are getting exciting.
Oh, I must admit, feeling a trifle nervous.
Rot! We're just getting down to the nitty-gritty of everything. This is where I shine.
I'd just as soon do this in a comfortable lounge on the mainland.
Oh, we just have to come back, return to the scene of the crime and all that.
I, for one, want to leave Vulture's vault.
I, for two, agree with you. How do we go about it?
In those movies where a plane crashes on a deserted island, they always escape by writing a tremendous help in the sand.
Excellent idea.
Thank you. Well, there's one thing wrong with it.
What?
No sand. The island is completely rock.
Then we'll build a fire.
Oh.
Out of rocks? Weren't you ever a Boy Scout?
No, they ripped off my badge when they found my canteen full of martinis.
There is a time when humor is unwelcome, Mr. Olive, and this is one of those times.
The furniture!
What?
Getting dementia.
Probably. Well, that is indeed a non sequitur, Rodney. You have succeeded in changing the subject.
We'll burn the furniture. The smoke will signal help, and we'll write this whole thing up for the TV
You
show.
should have led with that.
I'll get this chair. Jessica, do you have any matches?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, Whitney, do you think you could manage that table?
Well, I've been under ones that are smaller, but I'll try.
I must say I have very little faith in this scheme.
Oh, what's wrong with it?
It's too simple.
Far, far too simple. If this would really work, everyone would have used it in our books already.
Well, maybe we never thought to have anyone think of it.
I'll let you know when I've figured it out. Oh, Whitney, let me help.
Whitney now, Whitney, mustn't dally.
Oh, Whitney, come on.
Good. Now, pile them on top of each other.
This table's as heavy as stone. You suppose it will burn?
Oh, if the fire gets going, I'll go to the larder for some marshmallows.
Oh, wow!
Oh, what happened?
Bee?
What is it?
Bee stung me.
Oh, I'll make some on. That's the best thing.
Oh, dear.
Is it bad? Oh,
Very.
boy, I'm intelligent.
Come along, Rodney. Jessica's made some beautiful mud. If you don't use it, she'll only put it on her face.
Yes, of course. I do apologize, but I must say I'm feeling a trifle woozy.
Of course, but you're a brave boy.
Goodbye, Rodney Duckton. You are one of my favorite authors, feasting indeed. I use that one in the case of the South American headhunter. I know Below Gundart when I see it. Dipped in Curare, no doubt they always are. The unusual. This is right up my lane. Mildred, my girl, go to it. Now, for the surprise ending. The murderer cannot be Jessica, as she was helping Rodney with the chair. It can't be Whitney, as he was piling the table on top of the chair. Therefore, by process of elimination, the murderer is me. How's that for a surprise ending? No, but I didn't do it. I know that. So if I didn't do it, it must be one of the Olives. Intriguing idea, isn't it? Down to 3 people and one of them guilty. But how would I conclude it? I know, the Olives would come rushing in and announce that Rodney is dead from a blowgun dart. Yes, that's how it would begin.
Oh, Mildred! It's Rodney!
What happened?
He's dead!
Oh, it wasn't a bee sting at all. It was a dart from a blowgun.
The kind of murder you'd commit.
Well, what do you know?
Confess, Mildred! Then the 3 of us will sit down and write this thing before you give yourself up.
The royalties will be astounding.
We'll make sure your next of kin gets your share.
How generous of you. But you've forgotten one thing.
That line again?
Yes, you've forgotten that I know I didn't do it. Therefore, it must be one of you.
We forgot about that.
I thought you'd reckon with my deductive mind.
How true!
But why did you do it?
We're dried up. No idea in ages. Our stories are getting connected.
Sloppy!
Predictable! The only way they'll sell is to get rid of the competition.
So we're ridding the world of all mystery writers. One by one.
We're quite insane.
Utterly and completely mad.
Oh, I should have known. Well, there's only one thing left to do now, isn't there?
What?
Kill me, of course. Oh, I didn't say that. Oh, you didn't. Please tell me you didn't hear me.
We heard you.
With my big mouth.
Put that down, Whitney. It's my turn.
Is not.
Yes, so.
Is not.
Oh, you finish that up. I'll go upstairs.
Stay where you are.
All right, Whitney. On the count of 3.
Agreed. 1, 2. Oh, Jessica!
Whitney! I'm just dying! Oh my goodness, I'm dying everywhere! Oh my gosh! I'm just dying!
Too pretty!
How's that for surprise ending? No, but it'd never work in real life, would it? It's stupid and silly, and I'd rip it out of my typewriter and start all over. The truth is you can never predict reality. And I'll just have to wait and see like one of my readers does. They must be about to come back here and say,
Mildred, it's Rodney.
what about him?
He's dead!
It wasn't a bee sting, it was a
A
dart.
blowgun dart. I know.
Of course you do. It's your kind of murder.
It may be the murder I think up, dear, but not the kind I'd commit. I'm not the murdering type.
Neither are we.
One of you must be. Or both. I was thinking just now and...
What?
And I had an idea.
Get me down!
Until I search it!
Darling, she can't use your master
I
charge
knew she
here.
was a murderer, but I had no idea she was a person.
I got it! You think you'd fool old hand like me, dear? Hot to death!
She's completely crackers.
If you're hungry, there's food in the kitchen.
It's just the lipstick.
Surprise, surprise!
But how did you do it? Where's the blowgun?
We might ask you the same question.
Yes, how did you do it?
Me?
Well, if it wasn't either of us, then it must be you.
Either of you? Why not both?
You really think we go around killing people? Why don't you go away somewhere?
Ha! I'm not falling for that line. I'm
right here where we can do ditto.
How long before one starves to death?
I die of thirst long before.
I, for one, am tired of this. There's money to be made out of this situation, and I will make it. I'll break into magazines with this one. Serial rights and movie rights. My biggest moneymaker. I think I'll call it A Night of Horror.
Oh, it isn't over yet.
She's going to finish it in jail.
This damn typewriter won't work.
Oh, Mildred, you are old-fashioned. It's electric.
Oh, thank you. Where's the...
Go right ahead, don't let us disturb you.
You seem a little over-anxious for me to start. Ingenious!
What now?
You rigged this typewriter to electrocute me!
Well, really?
You think I'd fall for that? With all the ingenious murders I think up?
This is getting out of hand. Even if it is me and Wit, we would never think of something as stupid as that. Stupid! Yes!
One of my best murders was the electrocutor!
Here, let me type for you.
Go right ahead!
Whitney,
Yes, darling.
by some odd chance you didn't happen to rig this, did you?
Jessica!
Oh, sorry, darling, just checking. M-A-R-T-I-N-I. There you go, Mildred. I knew it wasn't ranked. It's all yours.
Well, it was a good idea.
Use it sometime.
I will. A Night of Horror by Mildred Zinn.
Whoa! Oh my God!
It was rigged.
Is she dead?
Well, everyone else here is. She must be too. Dead as a doornail. Oh, I always hated that line.
The murderer must have known she would use the typewriter. No one else would type the letter Z.
She short-circuited the typewriter too.
At least she went out writing. It's rather poetic justice.
Oh my God!
What?
Then it's you!
I was just thinking the same thing about you!
Why did you do it?
I did not!
Well, you must have. I didn't.
Well, I know I didn't do it, and there's no one else here. So again, I know I didn't do it.
You're suffering pangs of remorse. That's
I'm
good
not
for you.
crying because of any pangs.
Then why?
Because you've never kept something from me.
I haven't kept a thing from you.
Those 6 murders mean nothing to you! Our whole marriage is over. It was built on a foundation of trust and understanding and mutual faith. But now, you lied to me!
Well, I could say the same thing about you.
No, you can't. I'm innocent.
Well, so am I.
I don't believe you.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at this face. It's a handsome face.
I always liked that face, even the peculiar parts of it.
Peculiar parts? What peculiar parts?
Well, your nose isn't really what it should be, and one eye is on the other.
I like that. After all these years, I never complained about you through every one of your hair colors.
I was only trying to please you.
You've always known when I was lying. Now look at me. I didn't commit those beastly murders.
Oh, I believe you, Whitney, I believe you.
Now tell me one thing.
What?
Why did you commit them?
I didn't, I swear on an ex-royalty check.
Well, honestly?
Yes, cross my heart and hope to... Oh, I didn't say that. I take that back. You did not hear me say that. Please.
Well, then, if it wasn't either of us, and we're surrounded by dead people, we finally come across the perfect crime.
I always said it could be committed.
We should celebrate.
The wine!
Oh, excellent idea.
Whitney, I do feel, oh Lord, I do feel rather foolish having suspected you.
Oh, think nothing of it. I suspected you.
What are we supposed to do until the lunch comes to sit here drinking?
Oh, we'll be delightfully tipsy.
Oh, I don't know how I'm supposed to have a happy outlook on our work after tonight.
Oh, this should help.
Oh, it's bound to.
Ah, to the greatest mystery yet to be solved.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh my God! That wasn't a good year at
Bitter and acrid. Oh, that's what this tastes like. Where have I heard that
Oh,
before?
you used it in the poison park, so wine was bitter and acrid.
That's right. Mine was bitter and acrid. Jess, the murderer knew we drink this.
Damn it!
No! Well, don't be upset. At least we're going together.
Oh, it's not that. We don't know who did it.
That is rather upsetting.
It's like turning to the end of a mystery book and it's saying, guess who?
Well, maybe we'll find out in the golden library in the sky.
Do you suppose all our books will be there?
Bound in gold leaf.
And every Sunday we'll get the New York Times and be #1 bestseller.
Heavenly.
Exactly.
Oh, but I can't wait! I want to know who it is now!
So do I, darling.
What's that?
Oh, someone's coming. Oh, Whitney, it's happening. We're going to get our last wish.
Oh, I'm too tired to turn my head.
Whoever you are, will you stop dragging your feet and hurry up?
No.
Here I am, Julie Summers.
Oh, what a bore!
Don't you like it? It's been done to death. The first one killed is the murderer.
But I was sure you were dead when we carried you upstairs.
I was.
Oh, I love science fiction.
Julie Summers was dead. But I am Greta Summers!
Oh, this is even worse. Her twin sister, I assume.
That is correct.
Dirty pool. Such dirty pool.
After you two are gone, I shall have done it. The perfect crime.
Oh, but why?
My twin Julie always had everything. I had nothing.
I abhor speeches like this.
They're always long and boring and
drawn out. Hear me out.
No.
Julie told me of her plan to bring you here and how she'd come up with the greatest murder script in history. I wanted to.
I know you wanted to do her one better.
So you committed all those real murders.
How did you know?
We write these
We
things.
used to write these things.
But it's my right to say something. Every murderer gets to tell how they did it, step by step.
Oh, I can't take any more of this. I'm going right now.
But I have so much to say.
Sorry, old sport, but that's just the way the ball bounces.
My murders. I have made history tonight. I have committed the ultimate in crime. This is the perfect mystery.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, it doesn't have any punch at the end.
Rewrites. It needs tremendous rewrites.
I think it's excellent.
You don't know anything about anything, Miss Summers. We are the experts.
The suspense is terrific.
But the characters aren't any good.
You can't combine all the styles and expect to perform one coherent work.
I heard everything from backstage.
You know, perhaps if we brought Jack Club in.
Oh, Jack Club is out. He was good in his time.
Perhaps if we made him a man from the CIA.
Brad, shut up, please.
People are tired of that, aren't you?
Oh, Rodney, darling, they still think we're on the island.
Oh, you don't.
Of course they do. We told them we were going from the studio to the island, closed the curtain, opened it back up again. So naturally, they thought we were on the island.
Just because we said so.
Of course.
What a fabulous group you are. Trifling gullible, but fabulous.
If we have to work any longer, we'll have to get overtime. You didn't say anything.
I am well aware of the union. I'll write you out a check immediately.
I hope you were pleased with our work.
Oh, you were marvelous, darling.
When you finish the scripts, can we audition for our roles?
Oh, of course.
Oh, we won't pay above scale.
I'll have to talk to my agent.
We don't want to keep the audience here any longer, do we?
Of course not. They'd be bored with the rewrites.
Thank you all very much for coming. Your reactions have been a tremendous help. You see, before we all came here tonight, we met at that little restaurant across the way and decided that this would be the best thing to do. Pretend we were really on the island. Even Julie Summers liked the idea, and she turned in a reasonably good performance.
I used to do a little community theater work.
Oh, 2 months.
Oh, do you think we've given them their money's worth?
Of course, darling. 8 murders, I mean, what did they expect? World War III?
So go home now and enjoy your nights. Murder is only in books and stories. It can't happen here.
Oh, someone help him!
look at